Welcome to Ask the Mayor. Today is Monday, the 14th, 2022. I am glad to be joined by Mayor Jerry Larsen and Chris Minardi, the Deputy Mayor for the East Hampton Village. How are you guys doing today?
Well, good, Matt. Thanks for having us again.
Yeah, of course. We changed studios on you today. We are in the podcast room. I like to change it up on them so they can stay on their feet. Let's get right into it. There was a old-fashioned, some would say 1980s style heist here in East Hampton. And Jerry, you are the former police chief for the East Hampton Village. Basically, what happened was in the middle of the day, right before school was about to close, four people from New Jersey, five people, went into, and I'm probably going to say this wrong, the store Balenciaga, heisted 91,000 worth of handbags and accessories. Four of the five thefts were caught on the highway in the woods near the West Hampton area. And Jerry's going to give us more of a description on what really happened and how this is supposed to go down from the police's perspective.
Thanks, Matt. Yeah, it was kind of a brazen theft, but you've seen this all over the country. This is what people are doing now. So they went into the store and they cased it first. They sent in a female occupant of the vehicle, and she went through the store, and then she called in the rest of the people that were waiting outside, and they cleared off all the shelves, ran back to the car, and fled the scene. A passerby happened to see what happened and flagged down a police car, and they put the description of the vehicle out right away. And one of our police units that happened to be right by Town Pond spotted the vehicle and started to pursue it. It had no plates on it or anything, so it was just a black Durango. So he was chasing it, but the speeds got really high up towards Wainscott, up over 80 miles per hour, and it was a very dangerous situation. So he called off the pursuit, which I'm very proud to say that's the right thing to do. Again, it's only a larceny. It may have a big number attached to it, but for some innocent person to wind up injured or dead because of a police pursuit, that kind of went away a long time ago. So the police did the right thing and they called ahead. The state police then picked up the vehicle on Sunrise Highway, again started the pursuit. But then when it got to around Manorville Road, they called it off because, again, you have traffic lights, cross traffic on Manorville. Again, dangerous situation. The car then made its way to the expressway where it blew a tire, and then the occupants fled the scene. And thank goodness we take this stuff really serious because Suffolk County PD and the state police, we had a helicopter and we had dogs, canine units, and tracking all of these people. And they were able to arrest four of the five people they found. So it was a successful day. I spoke to the DA the other day, Ray Tierney, who is our new DA, and he is very much into prosecuting to the full extent of the law these people, because we really want to make a statement here that we're not going to take this lightly, even though in the scheme of things it was just a larceny. There were no weapons involved, but still we don't want this type of activity out here. We haven't had this type of thing since, I think you even brought it up, the 80s, but it was more in the 90s. We had a lot of this before Tanger Mall opened. We had organized groups that come from Queens, and they would work a circuit between Chicago and Manhattan. And
Wow.
And we wound up arresting quite a few of them when they were out here doing that type of thing. I don't know if you remember, we had Coach on Main Street back then, and that was a big target, and a lot of the other clothing stores there. So we did have that kind of problem back in the 90s, but we haven't seen that in a long time. So this is the first time in a very long time we had something like this happen. So again, it's difficult to get away. There's really only one road. But again, the speeds will, the police aren't going to pursue when you have those kinds of speeds over something as minor as a larceny. So everybody did a great job, and they're all in custody. I think with the new bail reform, most of them are out, except for one who was a really bad guy. They were all from Newark, New Jersey.
What about the fifth guy? Has the fifth person been?
The fifth person, who's a female, has not been apprehended.
Okay.
As far as I know, not yet. So was a great job by everybody, and really proud of the police, and they did a great job.
Yeah.
To find the fifth person, just check eBay for some new handbags. And yeah, all those potholes up near Manorville. So they
That's probably what did it.
Thank God for potholes, we say. I have two follow-up questions. One, the school technically was put on lockdown for 10 minutes.
Yeah, we did that. The police did that, and it wasn't locked down. There's a different. There's two different scenarios. One's a lockdown, and that's when basically there's a threat inside the school.
Okay.
And that's when the classrooms get locked and kids, like, under desks, the blinds get pulled, the whole bit. A lockout is what happened that day.
Okay.
That's when there's a threat on the outside of the school, and the school is told to lock the doors, no recess, no one comes and goes, and it's called a lockout. It's just a precaution because when you're chasing somebody, you don't know when or they're going to flee on foot, and you don't want them running into a school.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the whole purpose of it. It was the schools were never in danger, but that's just a precaution that the police took. And again, it was a smart move.
One thing I wanted to be able to ask both of you really is, what would your message be to someone who is considering doing this in the future, maybe in the summer when it's a lot more crowded? What would your message be to deter this from the future?
Well, it's pretty obviously we're going to catch you, and we are going to prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law. So you're not going to get away with this. This is not, something where you're just going to walk away and we're going to look the other way. So we take it serious.
Maybe they should also check their tires before.
Yeah.
In the summer too, there's no way you can drive 80 miles an hour with the increased traffic. So I think it's something that we're not going to see that often. This was an isolated incident. People got caught, which is great. And let's just, keep this out of East Hampton. I think it will.
Is there any plan to have more police officers lined up on the street at all? Or
we already do that. We have foot patrol. We have bicycle patrol. So I don't see a need for extra patrols. I mean, this is an isolated incident that, that we were able to apprehend. And I agree with Chris. I don't think we're going to see a lot of this out here.
And East Hampton Village PD was there at that moment. Mm-hmm. So again, when I think they did I know they did a fantastic job. And as for increased personnel, well, we just demonstrated that there is a police basically driving by at that moment, as well as an officer at Town Pond area that was ready. So I think they did a fantastic job, and it was good training for the future. But hopefully, it's something that we don't have to do again.
I mean, we're pretty lucky in the village. We've always had staffing has always been great in the village, and since we came on the board, we've increased the staffing back to the levels that we haven't seen since the 80s. Mm-hmm. So we are fully staffed, and we have roughly about a 2-minute response time to anywhere in the village, which is incredible. So we're really proud of the police department, and we're going to keep funding them and making sure that they're there for our residents.
The village has great police. I personally have gotten my CPR training there via the village when I was a lifeguard. Yes, they've done a great job. And like you said, they were right there when it happened. They did the right thing by stopping the chase. Last follow-up question for you, Jerry. What was it like getting back in the maybe the quarterback huddle, so to speak, talking to State, Long Island, and different police? Did you get the rush back?
I didn't really do any of that. I only spoke to the DA.
Okay.
I didn't get involved in the pursuit.
Do you miss the rush?
I missed that part of it. Yeah. That's we did a lot of that. Like I said, a lot of that work in the 90s. We were really busy with a lot of burglaries, and it was a different time. It was the whole crack epidemic, and there was a lot going on.
All right, cool. Let's move on to the next topic. The septic, there's going to be a septic upgrade at Main Beach, and there's going to be staircase updates at Main Beach. And I'm assuming this is just due to time and this long-term degradation. I didn't say that word right.
Well, I'm going to let the deputy mayor talk about the beach, but
Please
I can
do.
tell you that we've been finding that everything has been neglected in the village for a long, long time.
Mhm.
And it's coming due now. And we have to put money back into every part of our village. And I know I've spoken about this before. The fire department needed trucks. The highway department needed a major amount of equipment. And our buildings are in desperate need of repairs. And there's just been no maintenance to anything. So we're working on all of that. But I'll let the deputy mayor talk about the upgrades at his beach. So,
the bad news, as the mayor mentioned, is that the infrastructure of the village is very dated. The good news is that I couldn't think of a better administration at this time to come in here and fix it. That was our platform. And when we took office a little over a year ago, we started uncovering what's, oh my God, this needs this. So it's great time for the village to have us where we're at. And the main beach updates are long overdue. As you know, that the beach pavilion is very close to the ocean, and the septic there needs to be addressed, and it needs to be state of the art. We owe it to the village that way, and that's what's being done. As for the staircase, this is not a big deal, in my opinion. The staircase leads to the upper deck of Main Beach Pavilion, and you were a lifeguard. You've probably been up there before. It's a very steep, old staircase that needs to be corrected. And so that's all we're doing, is we're making it a little safer and just trying to allocate some money to infrastructure and safety up at the beach. And that's what we're doing with those 2 upgrades.
While we have the time, can you the Main Beach has seen a lot in the last decade. We saw it get taken out by hurricanes. It got brought back, won the Beach of the Year after the hurricane. Now we have Amanda Seacamp running the food over there now with with her mom. And then we have the septic upgrade. Has this all been a part of one bigger vision to change the beaches for the future?
Well, I don't know if I wouldn't use the word change the beaches. There's just a vision of this asset that we have with Main Beach and all the village beaches. So, I mean, in my opinion, and I know Jerry and the rest of the board feel the same way, especially me, is that we've got such a beautiful thing here that has been underutilized. I don't want to say that we're looking to maximize this venue. However, the pavilion needs upgrading. The sea spray needs upgrading. The food and the concession was in dire straits of a change, which I really love what the sea camps are doing up there. There's way to fine tune the parking, which we're doing. We just hired a chief lifeguard, which is the first East Hampton's ever had. Yeah. We have a whole
Please tell me a little bit about the chief lifeguard.
I'll do that. We got an amazing staff. We've got the best lifeguard programs. I mean, I'm talking jet skis, ATVs, garbage detail, ADA mats.
The garbage detail is incredible, by the way. I need to put that out there. I worked at the Maison Club, and they would come by and pick up our trashes as well. They do a absolutely fantastic job that nobody sees. I would love to preface that they do a fantastic job.
You're very right. And we also, the beach rake. We've increased that. So
everyone at Main Beach is a custodian. And that was the one thing that I made very clear when we took office, is that I don't care if you're a lifeguard, beach person, manager, I don't care what you do. If you see garbage at Main Beach, you're picking it up, or you're going to have a problem with the management. And that's very important. So, I mean, the list goes on and on. We've got the concerts on Tuesday night at Main Beach, which are a huge hit, which we're going to make even better this year. But the community's responding. The bathrooms are open more or less the entire summer. Right. Extended hours. Our lifeguards are there for a longer time during the season. As a former lifeguard, you know how important that is. And I mean, I didn't bring notes, but the upgrades on all the beaches have been tremendous. And this is just the beginning. So we're really, really excited about Main Beach.
Yeah, I could speak to the extra hour thing. You'd be stunned at how many saves happen by whether it be older lifeguards who are just at the beach later, or ocean rescue has to come from the 5:30 to 7 o'clock hour. you'd be stunned. I mean, it truly happens a lot. Please do, if you can, go into a little bit detail about the first ever chief of lifeguards in the village. That sounds like an incredible start to that.
Okay, so again, the beach is a year-round place, and we have to stop looking at it from the point of, July and August.
I agree.
And people are there right now. They're walking their dogs. They're having coffee. They're reading the newspaper. After COVID, I think everyone realized that this beach was more of a destination place to spend your time. There was a lot of rescues, more than ever, and a lot of people are enjoying their outdoors times, and they get it. So we took the initiative to hire a full-time chief lifeguard that is overseeing a lot of other things other than just Main Beach and its operations. But it's Drew Smith, who you might know.
Oh, yeah, I know Drew. Yeah.
Captain Smith, and or Chief, what is he? Chief Lifeguard. Chief Smith, I'm sorry. And Drew is doing a fantastic job. We're really happy to have him. He's getting the lifeguards and the camaraderie between him and the town and Maidstone and everywhere, the ocean rescue squads. And it's one big family down there, and he's doing a fantastic job. So this will be a really fun summer, and people are really excited, especially me. But Main Beach is a special place, and we're just trying to keep it that way. So I don't know, Terry.
No, I couldn't say anything more. I mean, Chris, when we got together and decided to run for office, I mean, this was his vision, the beaches, and I am not standing in his way in any manner at all. So Chris has done a great job getting this to where it should be, and we're just going to keep moving forward.
The concert series was so packed by the end of the summer that people had to leave early to be able to drive home. Like it was a New York Mets game leaving in the 8th inning.
Right.
Yeah, I went to one. It was incredible. So please keep doing those. It's a lot of fun. Let's move on. Before we get to the summer, though, we got to go through the spring. And besides all the small little stuff going on at Herrick's Park, the few cleaning up, you got rid of the wall, you're fixing the bathrooms over there that we talked about last time. You mentioned that there's going to be a food tour this spring.
Yeah, well, we just finished our second annual scavenger hunt.
Oh, yes, my bad.
No cost to anybody in the village. And we had a great time with it. It was a couple of Saturdays ago, or last Saturday. I lose track of time. But it was a lot of fun. We had about 27 groups that participated. And basically, Hugh King organized the questions. They were really tough questions. And people would,
from Hugh?
They would organize their group, and then we would send an email to the group. And then once they had the right answer, they would get the second question, the third question, so forth. So they'd answer 9 total questions. And then once they completed that, they had from noon till 4 to finish that. So it's not a race. And then they would just go wherever they go, home or to a restaurant, and they wait for the 10th question, at 5:00.
Okay.
And then that gets emailed to all the groups at the same time. And the first group that responds with the correct answer, they don't have to go anywhere. They just have to have the knowledge. And Megan Payne and her family won this year's prize, which is a $200 gift certificate to Fresno Place.
Oh, nice.
Which was donated by Mike at Fresno Place.
That's awesome.
He's going to be at the Moran House tomorrow at 4:30 with me, Hugh King, and Megan Payne and her family to receive the gift certificate.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And it just got better and better. The first year we did it, we had maybe, 12 teams. This year we had 27 teams.
Wow.
So it's a lot, and it was fun.
Now, if you would, can you just say one word about Hugh King and all the great work he's done?
Well, I don't know if you can just say one word about him, but he's just an incredible.
Well, if I gave you more than one, we'd be here till tomorrow morning.
Yeah, he's an incredible man, and he's just done so much for our community, and he continues to do so much for the community. He's helped me with our naming roads after past mayors. He's helped all with that. I mean, he does whatever we ask him to do, and he's just so full of knowledge. He's so appreciated. It's I don't know what to say, Matt.
He's indebted to the community. I mean, I think he's a true, when people throw around the term MVP a little lightly these days, but he is a true MVP to the town, the village, and the greater surrounding area. But you were mentioning before we went on air that there's going to potentially be a food tour coming up.
Yeah, so this is kind of something we have in the works. if you've ever been on vacation, even you go to Manhattan or wherever, you can take these food tours. They go from restaurant to restaurant. Usually they're a walking tour because there are many restaurants in one location. However, we don't really have a lot of restaurants in one location. So what we're trying to put together is 6 or 7 restaurants that we can have them provide tastes. And then we're going to try to get the free ride to provide the transportation. And we'll just go from restaurant to restaurant. It'd be a small fee to enter. And, you know, the money will go to some charity or to Herrick Park reconstruction. And that brings us to the Herrick Park renovation. So when we took office, we started the East Hampton Village Foundation, which is a tax-free organization. We appointed a board, and that board, with the guidance of Brad Billett, who is the chairman now of that board, has raised close to $2 million for phase 1 of Herrick Park. So we're really happy to say that we are working very hard to get phase 1 going, and we're going to have, at our board meeting on Friday, we're going to have a presentation of what that will include.
That sounds awesome. I mean, it sounds like not only are you creating more fun things for people to do throughout the village in the spring, in the summer with the concert series, the scavenger hunt. I mean, things are really getting lively, so lively that there was an attempted heist. No, I'm only joking. We have a few more minutes here. I just want to quickly mention 2 weeks ago, you had the Stand With Ukraine event at the Hook Mill in the East Hampton Village. I went, I filmed it. It was incredible. Can you tell me a little bit about your experience hosting it?
Yeah.
And we only have a few more minutes here.
Yeah, it was incredible. We were sitting in the office and we decided that what can we do? You know, we can have, you feel helpless.
Yes.
You watch the news every night and there's really nothing you can do. And I didn't even realize that we had so many people actually living in our community who are from Ukraine.
Yep.
So we decided to get all of the clergy, the local clergy, and we would do a Stand With Ukraine evening at the Hook Mill. And we did that. And it was incredible because 2 young ladies showed up. One turns out to be the mother, the other was the daughter. And their dad and husband is fighting in Ukraine as they were there.
Mm-hmm.
And the young girl was so emotional, as you know.
Yep.
She was crying during the whole ceremony. And I have to thank all the clergy that came out. They had really beautiful words that they spoke. And it was a great event. And it was just really nice to stand with people from Ukraine and support them, which was incredible.
I was out of town that weekend, but I was really happy because you guys pulled this off really quick. And and again, that's something that Jerry can do, and I really support that. And I love being in Village Hall, and things can happen quickly, and that was a really good job. I was happy to see that.
Well, you know what's funny is we have a great, and I've said this last show, but we have a great staff.
Yeah.
You know, and they'll just brainstorm and they'll come up with ideas. I mean, Marcos and Lorraine and Pam and June. I mean, they come up with great ideas, and then we just move on them. You know, so it's not always us, but we have a great staff that comes up with great ideas, and I couldn't be happier with
I can only speak for myself. It was emotional. Straight up, it was emotional. If you would like to see the full event, LTV did film it. I was there. It's on LTV's YouTube page. It's called Stand With Ukraine. Hosted by the East Hampton Village. Please go and check that out if you're interested. We did have a bit of a late start to the show, so sorry if we missed your questions. For Jerry Larsen, the mayor of East Hampton Village, Chris Minardi, the deputy mayor of East Hampton Village, I'm Matt Lownes, and Jason Nowers in the control room. Thank you so much for watching Ask the Mayor. We'll see you again in a month on Monday. And in 2 weeks is going to be Ask the Supervisor. Thank you very much, and have a great night.